Hello and welcome to Peter's Corner. My name is Peter Lanzillo, and today, September 29th, 2025, we're in the Hudson studio in Hudson, New Hampshire, and I have with me a candidate for U.S. Congress. She's out of the 2nd District in New Hampshire, and I have Willie Tang Williams.
Good to see you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh, thank you, Lily. I'm glad you were able to make it. We're going to be speaking about a topic that is hot across the country. So let me give a little background here. I got a lot of information from the Epoch Times. They did they've done many very good articles on this subject. And U.S. farmland owned by Chinese companies is a growing concern across the U.S. Large swaths of land bought by Chinese companies, often near military bases, and as of December 31st, 2023, Chinese owned over 277,363 acres of farmland, which is mostly in Texas, North Carolina, Missouri, Utah, and Florida. There's 5 very large companies. One of them owns Smithfield Foods, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The rest you may not be familiar with, but they're biggies in the Chinese market. And almost all of these companies own land very close to U.S. military bases, and they own all this farmland. Well, why? That's the question. People are starting to question what's going on with the Chinese buying all this property. Between January 2023 and July 2024, at least 20 states have enacted legislation restricting or regulating foreign ownership of property. So China is not a friend of the United States. China is out for China. And the way they're doing things, it's very suspicious. Now, I have Lily with me, and Lily has a history, a background that you may find fascinating. She's not your typical person running for political office. Lily, tell the people who you are and about your background.
Well, I was born in China, actually, in the 60s under Mao. So I knew personally, under CCP, what the country's political system is like, and how its people live under their lives, and the history of modern China, basically from since I was little, from 60s until I come to this country, 1988. So I was almost 24 years old when I left China, wanted to come here, basically to escape China, to live in a free country, because somebody told me about the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and my light bulb came on. I just could not turn it off because those magic, wonderful words really tell me that this is the greatest country if I want to live under freedom. I have a Chinese law degree, and I wanted to change China at the beginning from 17 to 21 to a country rule of law. But I realized it's a rule of man, and it's a one-party dictatorship. I can never change China, but they want me to comply. So I had to plan my escape carefully. The only legal way I could come here in the 80s was going through graduate school application. And but I had to get a permission to quit my job and to sign agreement to make false promises like to go back after my master's degree, even though I come here on my own time, but they own you. So I know their system, they own you. And if you don't have their permission for the CCP and party permission, or they think you are loyal to them, then you could not even leave. So I came here, I was not political, and I got my master's degree and fall in love, got married, raised 3 wonderful children, and then learning English, learning about my new country. And I was not political at all. I just thought I live in a free country now. Everything was good until I think pretty much Obama became a president. I recognized the similar ideology, the socialist policies, and also his tactics and his words, and just like it got me scared. So I as a grassroots mom activist, I was fighting against the Common Core. I put my kids in charter school after I realized something's going on I don't like. And I fought against gun control when we still live in Colorado. And finally, after my last kid went to college, and my husband couldn't retire earlier, and I told him that I wanted to move to New Hampshire, live free or die state. And this is the best state in the country in my eyes. It was 2016 when I come here first time. And then I even went to speak on college campuses, 2018 at Dartmouth College, and the UNH later, all hosted by Turning Point USA and chapter. So every time I come here, 8 trips before I finally moved here 2019, I really fell in love with New Hampshire. And so finally we made it. And during the pandemic, and I feel like I was having PTSD. Our country was, showing all the also terroring natures and all the cultural Marxist stuff. And I said, well, somebody said, Lily, you should run for Congress there. Because Ann Custer was the congresswoman. Nobody could defeat her after trying 10 years. I feel I was challenged. I said, okay, I will run. So here I am. 2026, my third time to run. Hopefully third time is charm. I do trust the people to make that decision, in this race.
Thank you, Lily. Very, very different background than most politicians.
I'm not a politician.
Right. You're not a career politician. And you've seen the other side, and you understand how the other side works. And because of that, you were able to see the warning signs that were popping up here in America.
Right.
And now we see it all the more. It's getting worse instead of better. But we're going to talk about what's happening with the Chinese here, right in our state of New Hampshire. And we're going to show some video of the mayor of Nashua. And he's talking about rumors, and he wants to settle the score, not the score, but get the slate clean of what the state is doing, the city is doing, and the country is doing, more or less, by answering these questions. So first of all, the Chinese water bottling company in Nashua, New Hampshire, at the Board of Aldermen's meeting on 8/12/2025. And the first question is, Nashua, how the company came here. And we'll play that clip now.
I don't think people generally understand that this company came to Nashua as part of a state economic development initiative. Now let me repeat that. They were brought here by the state of New Hampshire Division of Economic Development.
So the company came as part of an economic development by the federal government and the state government. I guess the feds said the states can do this, and the state went out looking for companies to invest in New Hampshire. Lily, what do you think about the answer? It seems like he's hitting it on the head.
Well, I was surprised that night because I went there with grassroots, lots of people who are very concerned about our water security, national security, and people who, if they don't know about Nongfu Spring, it's owned by China's, the richest man, a billionaire, Zhong San, the largest beverage company inside of People's Republic of China. So at the beginning, we had no idea because the news station actually interviewed me and the mayor in June, asking him to say, do you have any concerns about security, safety? He said, no, I'm not concerned, but he never mentioned that it was a state who broke the deal and invited them to come here to invest and create jobs. Until August 14th, when lots of concerned citizens show up at the Mayor Nashua and the Board of Aldermen's meeting. So I was kind of surprised that why did he say something earlier so we don't have to focus on Nashua's board meeting. We could focus on the state level investigation. Well, I'm glad now our governor has ordered Attorney General to do a thorough investigation about this. We are still waiting for the truth and facts to come out. But I have been sound alarm since May because somebody told me by the Washington Times there is an op-ed to say homeland invasion, and the mention about the Nongfu Spring buying this 23 acres property with over 300,000 square feet warehouse building, and wanted to buy our water. So I went to Jack, his show, very quickly in May to say, Jack, do you know anything about this? He said no, and nobody knew about it. So they closed very quietly. It's a red flag. Then they paid 4 times more than the appraised value. So I wish Mayor would say something before August, the meeting, right? So right now we're just waiting for the investigation result. But at the same time, I have been sound alarm, and I am trying to work with some Republicans in D.C. at the federal level who are hopefully they're connected with the Treasury Department called the CFIUS, which is a Committee on Foreign Investment Review. So this deal broke the federal regulation. If you look at their list of the military installations, anybody within 100 miles radius that are from our adversary countries need to be reviewed by federal government. And this deal did not have a review record. The committee had no clue this happened in New Hampshire. So the Treasury Department, who supervises this committee, has authority to step in to do retroactive review. And if they did violate our law, then they might have to be forced to divest.
Well, bringing it up, the union leader ran an article that rumors were rampant on property purchase by Chinese company. They're talking about the meeting in Nashua with the public. And since then, the Governor Ayotte, has mentioned that she is going to have the Attorney General look into this. Right. So that's a step in the right direction. Let's see the next video we have from the mayor. That one of the rumors was the water company was sold. Let's hear his response.
Some of the false statements. The first thing that started to get people stirred up was the city of Nashua has sold the water company. Totally untrue, never considered, never proposed, never discussed. No, it's complete fabrication.
Okay, so what he's saying is the Pennachuck Water Company was never in the discussion. And later on, they had the head of the Pennachuck Water Company speak, and he also said the same thing. And the bottom line is the company is still owned here locally, and that the company that the Chinese bought is a bottling company and nothing more.
Well, it is true that we're not talking about they're buying Pennachuck, which is a for-profit corporation, only has one shareholder, which is the city of Nashua government. And they are negotiating now. They met, the Pennachuck president met with the Nongfu Springs people to talk about that potential purchase water 2 million gallons a day from the Pennachuck. Right. And so it is true they just bought the plant with 23 acres in a very strategic location close to all our, defense industries, our air traffic control center, and New Boston Air Force, Space Force. But the thing is, though,
let me interject right here, Lily. A lot of people in Hudson and in southern New Hampshire may not realize that over in Nashua, along Route 3, is the Southeast Corridor air traffic control that controls the air traffic going into Logan Airport in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. Very, very important strategic.
Entire New England region,
yeah,
yes,
right.
Very, yeah.
So,
and the thing is, so that with Nongfu Springs, and some people just say, hey, we were told also to conserve water. Our water rates are going up, and why are we even talking to a Chinese company? And but the Pennachuck say, well, we have to sell water to the customers who are based in that area, because they also are selling water to a Belgian company. But the thing is, a Belgian country is not at a war with the United States. We are in Cold War with China and a one-party dictatorship country. And they do have ambitions and they do have plans to take over the United States as #1 global dominant power and use a soft power invasion. That's the Xi Jinping's term. Soft power invasion, that means they don't have to come here with armies with fire and one shot. They infiltrate into business, Wall Street, education, and the social media, Hollywood, and buying politicians, interfere with our elections. So basically, eventually, they feel like, hey, they got lots of people here already on their side. It's like, hey, they're going to eat our lunch. That's why I'm trying to warn people. They're not going to probably buy the Penachak ownership because that's not up to even Nashua to decide. But the sense of even just buying the water, use the name of a legitimate business to be here long term, I have a problem with that because, as you said, there are lots of geographic locations like this one are very important for our national security. And not even talk about join the base in Cape Cod. That is clearly stated by federal government Treasury Department. Within 100 miles radius of that joint base in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, no adversary countries, nationals, and companies can own anything without federal government review and approval. But they did not review that. They closed on January 31st during 2 president's transition period. So Biden's people were gone. Maybe Trump's team was not set up yet. So they are still overwhelmed with lots of stuff going on. So this project right now is just waiting for them to, step in.
Well, that was his response on the water company being sold. Now let's talk about the water supply being sold. Let's hear what he has to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we started out with a complete falsehood. Then the next falsehood, the city sold the water supply. Again, totally untrue, a made-up fact to get you upset. Politicians are trying to divide people. You see this? It's kind of a page out of the Washington playbook, trying to get you upset with a bunch of false statements to get you riled up and get you to come here.
Well, are you riled up?
Well, as I said, that the people have serious concerns, and I don't think the mayor should downplay those concerns. And also, as I said, if I was not running for Congress, I would still show up to voice my concerns as a great legislator, because I'm a patriot. I stand up for New Hampshire. If I see something, I know my native country, what they're up to, I have to expose them. I have to warn people, because I'm an American citizen for past 30 years. My loyalty is to United States, not to China, because I'm only one citizen of this country now. So I don't know what he's talking about. They are negotiating potential selling, buying water, and they withdraw their application for permit to widen their driveway to the building. So they plan on hire people to work on this business, which is bottling water. And so that's a legitimate concern. But now nothing's happening since we blew up on social media, and the government and state government is doing investigation. I'm hoping the federal government will come in to do investigation. So nothing is happening, which is true. But we cannot downplay citizen concern. And mayor should absolutely say something if he knew the truth. In June, during the newsletter interview, that he should say something so that people can directly to ask a question from our Division of Economic Development, like what happened,
Well, let's go on to number 4. The number 4 thing is that people were saying that the Chinese company was going to buy up all the water and ship it to China. Let's see what he says.
The next false statement was they're going to buy all the water and ship it to China. Well, obviously that's not true.
Okay, obviously that's not true. According to what they said at the meeting, according to the laws Penachuk works under, they have to sell them, I think, up to 1 million gallons a day.
I heard it's 2
2
million.
million gallons a day, which is nowhere near what the capacity of Penachuk is. They got plenty of water, so that's not the issue. And like he said, then there's no way they're going to take all the water and ship it to China. But yeah, just the fact that they have a company here is kind of a red flag.
Well, shipping water bottles to China to sell, I don't know if it's economically feasible, because that would be very expensive, very heavy to ship. So we don't know what is their true intention, and why did they pay 4 times much. It's another big red flag. If somebody want to buy my house 4 times more than my house is worth, make me wonder, do I have gold under my land? And they want to pay
sold.
Yeah, probably would be yes, but also make me, of course, you're happy to sell, but also make you wonder, what do I have here to offer? Right. So there are lots of questions are not answered. And plus that I have Mandarin Chinese as my first language, and I did some research. The Nongfu Spring just teamed up recently with the CCP propaganda group to do their so-called red education in some minority areas and put the 2 logos on their water bottles. So they're obviously is working with the Chinese government. I tell people that China has an international intelligence or national intelligence law. Everybody who comes out to the West in the United States doing business, if they're Chinese citizens, they hold a Chinese passport, Chinese companies, they must, according to their national intelligence law, to cooperate, assist their obligations to help Chinese government. It could be collecting data, it could be doing espionage. It's international law, so you don't blame. Maybe some companies are good, but they have no choice. You know what happened to Jack Ma, the billionaire too. He dared to criticize the Chinese government. And they forced his company to delist and to force him to retire. Being billionaire does not mean you have the power to decide what you want to do with your company. No, you have to comply to the Chinese laws and the CCP demands.
I find China is very shrewd. We hear a lot today about capitalism being so terrible. But you look at China and they take the best of capitalism and they use it to gain trade and jobs. And then you still can't get away from the communist aspect that they have their thumb on you. Mm-hmm. You're not free to do as you want, come and go as you want. You report to the government, and if they want you to do a certain thing because you're in Nashua, New Hampshire, and they want you to look over the shoulder of the officials there, you don't say no, you say when.
All billionaires in China, all the business people are controlled by Chinese government. Even foreign companies doing business in China have to comply with their laws. And a few years ago, they passed a regulation. If you have 100 employees in China, might be foreign company, law firm, you must have a China Communist Party committee on site.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why lots of foreigners left. Think of the political environment. It's not friendly toward foreign investors. Imagine Chinese company. Of course, you go to their website, they all have, some kind of presence of CCP, and they have told the party line. And I study law in China. I'm qualified to go to court in this country to testify as an expert witness on anything related to China. Political system, party control, culture, people, human geography. So I have a credibility to speak about this. It's not like we can be naive. I think even some people just think, they're a private company. It's a private transaction deal, and we want to create jobs. I understand, I get that. But still, we'll talk about, China who might not be communist country because they allow private ownership of companies and properties, but they're fascist country. No matter what you do with your own company, your own business, it's their business. They can put their thumb down. They can shut you down. Let's say that they want Nongfu Spring do something in this country. If we have conflict with China, they refuse. What are they going to do to Nongfu Spring's assets in China? What are they going to do to those family members who still live in China, even related to Zhongshan? They've been in there. So there's lots of potential concerns. That's why I feel like it's a part of some people's plan want to come here, and it could be under CCP guidance and regulations, but without their approval, they cannot come here to invest. Just understand that everybody who come out of China here needs government approval. So if people like me, anti-CCP, no, you cannot even leave. They will not allow you to leave. So there's so much infiltration in this country. We need to watch out,
Okay, and now the fifth clip I have here is that the city does not issue water permits, only the state.
One other false statement, one other politician said that the city was the first city in the state to issue a water permit to a Chinese company. Well, let's go through that. City does not issue water permits. They have no legal authority. They have nothing to do with water permits. Only the state PUC does that.
Well, only the state can issue water permits.
Well, the company Nongfu Spring has registered, I think, 3 or 4 companies through Secretary of State. So they are unregistered companies here, and to do with our state, and which is true. I don't know. Whatever mayor said had nothing to do with me. So because I never talk about stuff like that, right? And I'm just talking about general warning from somebody who lived and grew up in communist China, to say they have a plan, they have an ambition. We cannot trust them here. We need to get them out of New Hampshire. Because after this deal, I also discovered they own Daniel Webster College, and they own Chester College for years and years. And the Confucius Institute was on UNH campus for 12 years. I feel like they have a strong foothold in our live free or die state. But lots of people don't know about it. So I feel like it's my obligation I go to all the sites, make a video to show people what it looks like and who owns them. And then I did the research on the owners of those Chinese companies, what do they do in China. It's very, very concerning. They're all connected to Chinese government and the CCP. Don't you think our people here should be very, very worried?
Yeah. Well, talking about videos on the bottling companies in the areas, we're going to show some of those videos now. So first of all, we got one on 80 Northwest Boulevard, the bottling company.
Hi, my name is Lady Tang Williams, and congressional candidate in New Hampshire 2nd District. I came to 80 Northwest Boulevard in Nashua to show you this commercial building recently was purchased by China's richest man, billionaire Zhongshan, his largest bottled water company in China. And this building was appraised for $50 million, but sold for $67 million under radar. And on January 31st, 2025, without the Committee on Foreign Investment Review, because it was during the transitional period for 2 presidents. So I just want to increase awareness, and L3 Harris defense contractor just right here across the street. And what were my opponent, Maggie Goolander, say? And this is national security threat. It's not just about business, about water. This is about China. We get upset when the balloons fly over, but now they are here. They're in my backyard in New Hampshire. So please, somebody investigate this. Thank you. So I have been sound alarm since May. I think finally, though, WMUR interviewed me in July, and interviewed my opponent, Representative Goolander. And so now she's aware, and she said she did write a letter to ask the Treasury Department CFIUS committee to retroactive review it. I don't know if she's following up with them or not. But the thing is, we cannot stop talking about this because, it's not going to disappear. They are still there. They still own it. So, yeah. Oh, this is third one. Do you have the Daniel Webster College one?
Well, we're going to do this one.
Hi, this is Lily Tom Williams in Chester, New Hampshire at the Bush Academy. And this location used to be the old Chester College of New England, sold to a Chinese company 2015. Now they have about 100 international boarding students here and 72 acres. So this is third big real estate purchase by Chinese companies. And the owner is a part of a bigger educational group based in Beijing called the Royal School Train Future Diplomats. And after Nongfu Spring purchase, Daniel Webster College purchase, I just want people to see what this looks like in Chester, New Hampshire. So I went there recently, and this is the biggest land deal, 72 acres. And I was told that they purchased it 2015. A private college was struggling. After they bought it, they turned this into a boarding school for the summer for the Chinese kids. And that was, before pandemic, they had the Chinese kids come here every summer for summer camps. And mostly probably children of wealthy and connected and to have experience, maybe someday go to Harvard University since we're so close to there. I did a Chinese research, and this owner in China is a part of a huge group. It's involved in training for future diplomats, Royal School, and also they have international partners like a Confucius Institute, United Nations, and it's a huge international collection, and it's all on their Chinese website. So clearly, Confucius Institute is funded by Chinese government and send them to all over the West to glorify China in the name of teaching language and culture. It's part of a soft power invasion, Trojan horse into your country. And so it's called a 法政集团. So they have the website, and it takes us somebody who can speak the Mandarin to go dig that out, to find out the intertrained connections, who is who. And this owner in the Chester College owns a whole bunch of schools, and they're all part of this big group schools.
Well, let me ask you, I don't understand. Is this school functioning as a Chinese-run college now?
Well, it's functioning now because I was there that day. I saw a whole bunch of students there, and I talked to one staff, and she told me that, yeah, we have about 100 students, but they're from all over the United States. And I think that in the past, they had the Chinese students come here, but during COVID, they shut their summer camps down. So now I don't know who are those 100-something students, but the lady who worked there, clearly, she works for a Chinese company, and she was a former diplomat for CCP government, and a very nice lady. Just say, hey, I'm retired, I'm here, manage this for the boss, and goes to Boston, have lots of friends there. The thing is, so it's long term now. It's 10 years they're here. I mean, no. Of course, they're a private college, so there's no supervision. They pay their taxes, and they do their business. But what are they doing inside of China? Who comes here to get trained over the years? We just don't know. You have to do very deep digging on the Chinese language website in order to find out their deep connections.
That's interesting, very interesting. This next little video clip you made, I think it's explaining the different places where they have the properties.
Yeah. At the Nashua airport, and just want to show you, here's a long runway, and across street is Daniel Webster College, right here. There are some buildings rented out and purchased by Chinese nationals 2018. And combined with that, the water bottle plant that the richest man from China bought it in Nashua. So both locations are within 100 miles radius to Joint Base in Cape Cod. This is listed as a military installation, and Joint Base supposed to be reviewed by the federal government. So we need to rigorously review, investigate this. So this one, it just happened to be when I was there, look at the campus, empty campus outside of their property line, and back to me, an airplane took off. This Nashua airport, and there is one drone company. It's renting a couple buildings from these college campuses. The CEO president is Hector Xu. He's a Chinese, I think, a graduate of MIT, and he might be from UK. He started his company last year here. According to my AI research, he only got one anonymous investor. So why American company, New Hampshire company, will have one anonymous investor? And I heard people who used to work there to say the owner is Chinese. So what do they have to hide to not release their name? This is a very, very strategic location. And drone you know what can drones do now? You saw what happened during the Ukraine war, and you saw what happened, even that during the Gaza war. Drones can be very, very damaging. You talk about helicopter drones that can pick up very, very heavy and stuff, and they test to fly them in Hollis, Nashua area. It's called a router company, and with one anonymous investor, and registered with the Secretary of State in New Hampshire. Do people even to do more research on that company? There are lots of people go to Harvard, MIT, might be good entrepreneurs, very smart, but the thing is, so I just have this, concern about they're here, close to our strategic locations.
So this company is working out of the old Daniel Webster College building?
They're renting 2 buildings, and they have a housing called the employee housing, house their employees. And how many of them are Chinese? There's another renter called, hockey team, which is harmless, our local hockey team. And but the 2 renters, it's mostly not active campus at all for many years. But the 2 renters are there, and the drone company is using hangars in Nashua Airport to do their business. They have legitimate business according to Secretary of State. Their registration here, their website here. But still, you got to dig into what we don't know, and to say what is the connection there, right?
Well, I remember when the college closed, but I was never aware that the Chinese bought the property. I don't think most of the people in Nashua would say, "Oh yeah, I knew the Chinese owned that." I don't think so. And
well, same thing with Nongfu Springs. Nobody knew. They closed quietly. They even named, say, anonymous buyer for the property. The seller is a public traded company called Stack Industrial, based in Massachusetts, and so they are public traded company. Why they don't disclose the buyer immediately per their, fiduciary duty to the investors? I did look into who are the 2 largest institutional owners of seller. It's Vanguard and BlackRock. They own lots of Stack Industrial. Then they bought 4 times much, right? They sold for 4 times much. But the same 2 companies also are minor, small shareholders of Nongfu Springs, the seller. So you have same 2, 3 American investor companies are kind of on both sides. I guess it's easy to work out some deal, right? And BlackRock is also very big inside China, who were the first American huge investment company licensed by Chinese government to manage financial stuff and pension fund for Chinese government. So they They have connections there, and the people just need to know who owns the both sides. And I don't know if our people here know that or not. I just want to throw it out there.
Well, having grown up in China and understanding the mindset and having escaped from that, and now you see what's going on here in America, you're running for Congress because you feel you can make a difference. Well, how would Lily Tang Williams make a difference in Congress if she were elected?
Well, nobody is like me in Congress right now who actually born and grew up in China as a Republican. I think I can be very invaluable asset to U.S. government, to Congress, when it comes to deal with our geopolitics, foreign policies, especially when it comes to deal with China. I would like to advise them. I would like to offer my knowledge. And plus, I always ask people, trust me, because I am speaking the truth in this country. Because of that, I have not been allowed to go to China for the past 10 years. I'm blacklisted by CCP. They want me shut up as an American citizen in this country. Because I don't want to shut up, they threaten me to say, don't ever come back to China or Asia, like their own entire Asia. I'm even afraid to go to Thailand because they have an extradition agreement with a country like that. But I feel it's my duty because there are lots of Chinese Americans are not political or afraid to speak their mind because they have family in China, they have a business in China, and they are also afraid to support me too. So you can see how big oppressive regime that is. It doesn't matter where you are, what country passport you hold, the Chinese government can chase you, can threaten you. There are lots of spies, operatives in the United States can actually give you death threat. I have friends who are political refugees. They receive that threats all the time. And but I feel it's my duty because if you cannot manage your affair, you don't speak the truth, then they win, So I feel like Granny Staters can check me out and go to my website and search me on internet. For past 8 years, I have been actively to tell my story, to educate our students about horror of communism. I was not even running for anything. And I talked about this, and then I got a death threat. And I had to cancel my trip 2019 to go to China to see my families. I still have one brother there. I have extended 30, 20 relatives there. But, I always tell people, I'm not going to be silenced because live free or die is our New Hampshire values and its motto. I really embrace that. And sometimes courage can be contagious because I speak up. Maybe other immigrants, legal immigrants in this country who don't like their oppressive regimes, all can speak up.
Well, thank you, Lily. Very interesting subject. There's a lot of curves, the way it curves in and out. But the bottom line is nothing happens with Chinese companies that the government of China doesn't know about. I find it refreshing that you're willing to sacrifice and try to expose the truth. And Lily is running for Congress, 2nd District in New Hampshire, and on November 2026.
Correct.
You can make a difference. If you like what you hear, you can vote for her, and hopefully she can make a difference.
I hope so, and I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love New Hampshire. I feel people here mostly are very welcome, and I feel so encouraged. After last time I did not win, but I went viral because my only debate I had. And so if you want to learn more about me, you can follow me on X, on Facebook, and also my website, lilytangwilliams.com. And feel free to sign up to help out, volunteer. And actually, tomorrow is last day of filing deadline. And I hope people will check out and maybe contribute some money, because I think a grassroots candidate, I'm relying on the people, and I really want to serve the people, not special interests, not elitists, not PACs. So that if people trust me in my district, and that's what I want to ask for, is for them vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. And at this time, I'm going to play a video. It's a little lighthearted. It's from the Labor Day Parade.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
2026 at the Melbourne Labor Day Parade, this is all grassroots Team Lily's army to show up to support me. This is a grassroots movement, and nobody here is paid, right? Yes, and we all love America. We want to live American dream. So we will win 2026. Please join us.
Stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no...
Well, Lily, thank you very much. I'm sure our viewers got a earful of what's going on, and good luck on your ambitions in the future.
Thank you. I just feel like it would be my honor of my lifetime to serve the people in my district. I'm not that partisan, so we may not agree on every policy, but I always promise people I will never lie to you. I will always tell you the truth, and I will always listen to you, have town halls, and I will not be for sale. $1 billion cannot buy me. So what else do you ask for? I don't know. But I'm here if you want to talk to me and contact me and come to meet us in person. That's the best way in New Hampshire way.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you, Peter.
And thank you for watching Peter's Corner.